Hi, my name is Melanie Lemaster and my partner's name is Stephen Welsh. Our project is the design of an alternative transportation process on Cal Poly's campus. Our technical advisor is Carla with the help of Jill.
On our agenda today, we have the introduction, our problem statement, our background, which includes the literature review, and our expected deliverables not only for this quarter, but for the whole entire project.
So just to give you a little introduction into our project, we started off by joining with an existing student, Phil Ramos, who's working on a senior project to create an on-campus pedicab service. We decided that we needed to take a step back to complete a full needs analysis to determine what the actual problem was that the students are facing and if the pedicab will be the best solution for this or if we need to find another solution to the problem.
After extensive research on current modes of transportation at Cal Poly and the San Luis Obispo City, we found two gaps in their availability and functionality. The first gap is the ability for students to get on and off campus safely. The second being the fact that Cal Poly's master plan will eliminate roads for cars, subsequently causing more on-campus transportation to be needed for students.
So just to give you a little bit more details on the background, as said before, Cal Poly's campus is expanding. There are new dorms being added to accommodate for the 25,000 students that will be going here in 2035. The new projected campus map will eliminate roads for driving such as perimeter, which goes all the way around the school, as they will be catered towards bikes and pedestrians. There is also an increased attention towards student safety, especially at late hours of the night, due to the increased incidents that are occurring on campus.
For our literature review, we did further research upon the current modes of transportation at Cal Poly as well in the San Luis Obispo area. The first of these being the Amtrak and Slow Transit City buses, which can be picked up at certain bus stations around town and on campus as well, and are free for students with the use of their Poly card. The next is the Zip Car, which there's about 8 on campus and can be leased out to students for a set amount of time. Next is Mustang Patrol, which is an escort service put on by the police department. It picks students up from 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. and travels with them to another point on campus. Next is the Safety Escort Van Service, which is a van service put on also by the police department and picks students up at certain locations on campus such as the library and at said appointed times transports you to another location on campus. Lastly is the third-party service of Boltabout, which is an electrically powered bike that students can rent for months period of time. To continue our literature review, we looked at other campuses for sources of inspiration for our own alternative transportation at Cal Poly. The first of these being a pedicab service, which is offered at Texas A&M and is called Easy Rider Cab. They operate from 10:30 a.m. all the way to 2:30 a.m. at night, and only on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, and work solely off of tips. The next is a bike sharing program called Zaxter, which has successfully been launched at over 20 schools, one of them being Princeton. Most of these schools have locations on and off campus where students can rent and drop off their bikes that they use. We also looked into implementing a golf cart system or an Uber complement program. USC actually has their own Uber complement program in which they have their own campus cruiser for mobile transportation of students across campus, but if the wait time exceeds over 15 minutes, a student can use an Uber service for practically free as long as it's on campus. Lastly, we looked at the ethical dilemmas that we could come across when implementing our plan. The first being obesity and the addition of more alternative transportation methods that are non-physical, and secondly, the environmental impact depending on what kind of emission we choose for our vehicle type. To wrap it all up, Cal Poly offers many wonderful transportation alternatives for students on campus. However, they still fall short in two main ways. The first of these being flexible transportation times. Amtrak buses, city buses, and safety van services all run on limited schedules that don't allow students to move from point to point when they need to. Second is the affordable transportation off campus. Mustang Patrol and safety escort vans are exclusively only on campus, and this doesn't account for second, third, and fourth years that need to get off campus to return home.
Now that we're done with our lit review, we can move into the expected deliverables that we hope to accomplish during the course of this project. First, we will complete a full needs analysis to determine what the actual problem is that students are facing here at Cal Poly. In order to do this, we will have students fill out online and hand-done surveys for feedback. In order to properly represent the 25,000 students that go here at a 95% confidence level, we will have to have 378 different students fill out these surveys. Once we collect these surveys and obtain their feedback, we will be able to determine what the most effective alternative transportation process is to solve their problems. These processes will be to either A, work with campus to improve the current transportation processes that they offer, B, continue with the pedicab service, or C, create our own new business idea. Once we determine what the most effective solutions for students actually is, we will come up with an implementation plan to present to the campus for installation. In order to create this plan, we will use many different skills that we've learned in our IE classes here at Cal Poly. The first plan will be a layout of the service using operations research and Simio modeling. We will also go into a business plan to ensure lean processes are used and efficient marketing, labor forces, and wages are included. We will then analyze the environmental impact as well as the compliance with the city laws and culture. We're so excited to present our final project, and we thank you so much for listening.